In this video, you're about to watch my business partner close 3 life insurance policies to make $5,023 in commissions in just 3 hours. I'm about to break down his calls like we're watching game film so that you can replicate the success for yourself to make $10,000 or more per week. All right, so let's jump straight into call number 1.
Hey. Yeah, it's just Julian. I have that form that you sent here through Zoosurance. It looks like you had requested some more information on burial insurance programs. Does that ring a bell?
Burial insurance?
Yeah.
No.
Gotcha. This was about the life insurance programs here in Maryland. It looks like you listed your beneficiary here as...
Yeah, but I mean, that wasn't burial insurance, was it?
I mean, it was life insurance, typically used to cover a burial.
Right.
What were you concerned about?
Yeah, I didn't know what the number was, as far as how much and all that stuff.
So you were just like kind of looking for kind of some pricing and stuff?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you're talking to the right person. So,
all right, now real quick, notice how at first says that he didn't fill anything out. Whenever someone says something like this, you're going to want to confirm information to jog their memory. Something like repeating their birthday back to them or saying who they said their beneficiary would be usually is going to do the trick. In this instance, Julian basically just repeated himself but with different terminology, saying life insurance instead of burial insurance, and immediately re-engages.
Have you ever looked into this stuff before or tried applying?
Yeah, I've got some insurances, some term life.
Okay, perfect. So you said you got term life currently. Now, when you were looking into pricing for this, you said you already have some coverage. Like, what were you looking to solve for?
I was looking like for another $15,000. Figure out what price that came in at.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. We can look that up for you. Now, you want to do that in whole life this time, right?
Probably, yeah.
And was this to cover anything in particular, or was this just to like leave money behind for family?
Just some more than what I got right now.
Perfect.
All right, now what you just saw is Julian finding out what the prospect's why is. And we can't offer a solution until we know what problem we're solving, which is why we'll typically ask them a question like, oh, what were you concerned about? Or what problem were you trying to solve? Now, in this instance, the prospect said that he wanted to get an extra $15,000 in coverage, meaning that he already has some type of insurance. Now, this information changes everything because now we're gonna have to approach the sale in an entirely different way than if someone didn't have insurance. All right, so next, Julian is gonna start diving into the health questions. This is basically where we're gonna match the prospect with the best insurance company for them. Once we get all the health information, we're gonna then throw that into a software we have called Insurance Toolkits to find what's gonna be the lowest rate for the most amount of coverage that the prospect can qualify for. So once we run all of that through the software, we're gonna present this in a 3-option close. So we're gonna give them option A, option B, and option C.
I'll give us some quotes for $15,000, $12,500, and $10,000. Does that work for you?
There you go. That works for me, yeah.
Okay. Do you have a pen and paper around?
I'm actually driving home.
No worries.
Or I'm hoping I can go home.
Well, you got traffic going on over there?
No, it's just phone calls.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it looks like the price was significantly lower than everyone else because I'm basically shopping all the companies here for you right now just to see what looks like to make the most sense.
Right.
And so basically, like my job as a broker is just to get you the best deal the first time around. That way you don't have to shop around or call somebody else. Does that make sense?
Right. I'm with you.
Okay. Awesome. So I know you said you wanted to kind of leave something behind, but is this like essential or is this something that you would be adding as like a benefit, as like an inheritance, or what does that look like?
Well, I have some other insurances. There isn't, it's not a crazy amount, but I've got something for cancer insurance I paid for. A guy sold me that, and I have life insurance, and then I have this other insurance. It's something I got hooked up with. I could always drop it if I get, I got to figure out what that's all about, too. If I had the time, I could sit down with you and go over, pull out folders and see and compare what I got and keep what I got, get rid of what I got, and do something different or whatever. I don't know,
Whoa, holy curveball alert. So let's recap. So originally we were told that the prospect already had some type of term coverage, but was looking at adding on some whole life. But then once we digged a little bit deeper to find out what his why was, we got information bomb. He's got insurance for this, insurance for that, all these different policies. It's basically just a giant mess of insurance that we have to dig through and sift through folders and whatnot before we can even do anything. Now, the good news is he sounds open to doing this and sounds very serious about actually looking through the different policies he has. But the bad news is that he's apparently driving. So in this situation, do you think that we should A, keep asking him questions and keep pressing him on what type of policies he has? Or should we B, set an appointment and try to tackle all of this later? I'll let you decide. If you said B, you are correct. Here's why. So up until this point, the prospect has been very engaged and open to having this conversation. But if we keep pressing him, he's gonna start to pull away, right? He already sees the value of doing a policy review because he suggested it himself. Whereas on the flip side, if he was not really open to doing the policy review and was kind of like disengaged, we would wanna ask him questions that would raise doubt in his mind about what he has. But in this situation, he already has the doubt. We just need to set a time to kind of go through and look at everything. All right, so watch how Julian goes to set this appointment and pay very close attention because there's a small detail that changes the entire trajectory of the sale. Now see if you catch it.
Why don't we?
I know I have a term, and go ahead, but
What'd you say? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I think that would probably make the most sense, just because, like, I'm what you call a full service broker.
Right, and you're just pulling stuff out of the air to send, give me numbers. I could show you what I already have,
Yeah, I run into two situations pretty much typically. Situation number one, you got a bunch of stuff already, and we just gotta either clean it up and consolidate it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then we run into, well, it's more like three situations. Situation number two is, you don't need anything from me. You're in the best spot possible, and we don't need to make any changes. And then spot number three is, there's a mess that we got to clean up. And whichever one it is, my goal, and this is kind of like the way that we just work here over at Zoosurance, is our goal is basically to get you more money into your pocket every month and more benefits into your retirement every month, because then that means you want to keep doing business with us. Does that make sense?
Right, I'm with you.
Okay. Well, yeah, let's set it. When are you going to be home? I can set up a time for you, and that way we can actually like sit down and go over this stuff.
Probably, I don't know, what time is it where you're at right now?
For me, it's 10:15 a.m. and I got a pretty booked up afternoon.
You're 10:15 a.m.? How much time do you got right now?
Right now my next appointment is not until 12, but I'm almost back to back after that. So I mean, I could go over things now if you're almost home.
All right, let me see what I can get for you here. Bear with me here. Find out what I got going on.
Did you catch it? Did you notice how just magically teleported from being in the car and driving to all of a sudden being right next to his insurance policies? Do you know why? Here's exactly what happened. Julian's status changed. He went from random insurance guy who just called me out of the blue to trusted advisor with a busy schedule. Now, there were two things that Julian said that switched his status. Now, number one, when Julian explained the three different situations he runs into and basically said that it may not even make sense for us to do business together, he took all of the pressure off the sale and gained so much trust with the prospect. He basically flipped the whole conversation from a sales call to now a consultation. Now, the second thing that he said was, I have a pretty booked up afternoon, which basically in the prospect's mind is going to tell him that Julian is busy and that he has other people to talk to. Right after he says this, somehow just magically teleports from his car to his house and is now all of a sudden able to pull out his policies and look through all the information. Really strange. Now, basically, after what you just heard, they start kind of digging through the different policies and looking at what he has. And what they find is that the prospect actually just signed up for a new policy a few months ago. And after comparing the price of the policy he had just got with what Julian can offer, we were able to get him more coverage for less money than he's already paying and get him a day one benefit instead of him having to wait 3 years for the policy to kick in. And just like that, it turned into a $1,215 AP policy. Not to mention, he is also married, and his wife literally got the exact same policy that he did a few months ago. And so not only was Julian able to rewrite policy, but he was also able to rewrite the wife's policy for another $911 in AP.
Alrighty. We might be able to get you approved here. It says you may qualify.
Okay.
Bringing the total for the day to $2,127 in AP. Now, at this point in the day, it's only like 2 o'clock. So Julian keeps hitting the phones, keeps calling until he gets another answer. Now, this time it's a lady in her 70s living in California.
If you went to 10, it saves you about $200. So it ends up being about $522.71 a quarter instead of the $7 we just went over.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay, let's do that. Cool. And then the last thing it looks like I need here is the account number. I'm ready whenever you are.
Put a long story short, basically, we were able to get her more coverage for less money than she was able to find anywhere else. This turned into an easy, no-brainer $2,035 application. All right, so Julian, how much did you make today?
Let's find out. So total premium for the day is $41.63 and 4 cents. We're at a 125. So total commissions today that'll be deposited are over the course of 12 months with persistencies, 5203.80. On the 9-month advance, that's going to be what we make up front. If you guys are using the right system, you have the right lead source, follow the script, go through, follow the system. No reason why you can't be successful.
Now, if you've ever heard the objection, I need to think about it or let me think about it or whatever, then you need to watch this video right here where we show a live sales call overcoming this objection so that you can replicate it for yourself to close more deals. So click that video right there and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.